Sakura Express, Fit FM 96.7. See you there.
At 4 p.m., join Fit FM 96.7 fitfmj8.com for a simulcast of Primal Sports, an interactive sports program produced by Primal Media and presented by top sports activists. So tune in to a simulcast of Primal Sports on Fit FM 96.7, fitfmj8.com, and primal4k.com.
For 2 days, the 4 o'clock hour is hot on Fit FM 96.7, www.fitfmja.com. Your life, your music with Lady D, Denise Gomez, inside the zone. Catch me on Monday at 5 p.m. for the Monday Drive, keeping you in the know in the city you walk, drive, and reside. And on Friday, yes, at 5 p.m. for Center Stage, the platform where voices are heard and people connect. From abroad to yard, Trilani, me love you.
Blessings and light. This is Daimara, the musical revolutionary. You're in host on the community buzz on Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music. This and every Monday at 3 p.m. From the home to the community to the wider world. Let us be the change we want to see. Join me this and every Monday at 3 p.m. on the community buzz on Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music. Strong. We are the builders of the pyramids. We are the builders of the stone cities of Zimbabwe. We build them White House. We build them factories. With blood, with sweat, with tears, with flesh, with bones. Them use build them economy. Now them want come con you and me with them science and them technology. We make them take banana. We are walk, we are ride, we are drive, we are fly. Nah, look, nah, see. Eyes focus on the screen of an iPhone, Galaxy, tablet, Blackberry. Wake up, look. Uno no see. Say them are very weak. Ancestors crying out. Them are weak. You see, we're heading back to slavery. Broken digital technological slavery. The rich take them session, call it recession. Left the world in depression. Legal and illegal alcohols into interest. To our demise, we patronize, now become marginalized. Make fools seem wise, cause we abide them lies and sell with lies. Prostituting our sons, doctors, and wives. Marcus did rise. Sam Sharp did rise. Bogle did rise. Taki did rise. Queen and Zing did rise. Harriet Tubman rise. Rosa Parks rise. Malcolm X rise. Frederick Douglass rise. Ancestors rise. Eileen Thomas said, Aymara rise. Organize, mobilize, visualize. Stop, look through for them eyes and through your own eyes. Give them back them gadgets. Free yourself from it. The robotic digital technology of we are live on credit. While we learn our property, them take it, sell it. Guard your mind. Guard your children's mind. But we are a puppet government. I'm ready to sell it. It's up to me and you to stop it. Come, Yes. This is the Community Buzz on Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music. This is Imara, the poetic musical revolutionary. Yes, it's another Monday afternoon. How are you doing out there in the world? This is Imara, it's Fit FM. We are also simulcasting on primal4k.com. Yes, so we are here on this Monday. So many things happened over the weekend. Yes, we got country as usual. Well, I vibes out of Clarendon coming forward yesterday evening, It was a nice vibe driving in, I was kind of a little bit worried because yesterday morning I just hear the Vuvuzela them head out for conference. So I say, I don't want to catch them or meet them on the road when I come forward. Luckily, I didn't buck them up, you know what I mean? Because we know how people hype when it comes to them time there. But yeah, it was some very, very, for a long time, really look on TV, But sometimes I go country and because I never watch TV. But somehow we just decide to let me tune in and hear what the Prime Minister saying, and what's the plan ahead, you know what I mean? And there, what you say is election season. So he gave a hint that, it will be very soon, we will have the local government election. Well, it postponed so many times, so let's see what is going to happen, now, All right, so there was some very interesting thing, that he said, one of the things was struck my mind, when I hear him say that, the what you call the divestment of solid waste agency, I say, but or you privatize something like that, so it is going to be privatized. Government are going to privatize garbage collection and all of these things. How it go? Well, let's see. He's talking about job creation, and the whole thing is that Jamaica, is seen its lowest unemployment rate in the history of Jamaica. Well, that's a false argument because remember, say slavery was employment. People must know that that slavery was employment, and everybody on this island was working, but his justice was just free. Really about. So yeah, we can have a whole heap of people at work, but what is it that they are getting for the job? That's it. And he also spoke about inflation, how inflation affect. He spoke also that the highest salary increased in our country, in this country for over many years is this government who did it, But when we look at it, he's still talking, inflation eat it off. So he not really tell no lie, Him say something, but I wonder that the people might listen because enough people just blow them vuvuzela and listen what is really taking place. But one of the things we observe going on Jamaica, and I wonder if this is really true democracy. And if you wonder, what is this? One people, you can elect some people and then decide tomorrow morning. Say, say me I go cross-side. How it work? The people give you a mandate to represent them under one party. But you as an individual, take how much in people, thousands of people vote, and just say, I will go over the other side. How it work? What kind of democracy that? It can't work. And these are some things where we must look at. And the people, what the people are doing, I saw them silent and don't really understand their rights, their political rights, their voting rights, or them not really have none. Or they not recognize how powerful it is when them go out and say them go. I want to call it select and I want to call it elect. Because sometimes it seems like all what is happening is just selection. You know what I mean? So it's so many things. You see, social media is a thing, we expose so many people and so many things. I see the sister where I show her envelope and saying, yes, me come from a fat envelope, or this me come for. And one from the background I say,
but me get 120,000. She said, me don't know about you, but at 20 me get. Me not hype up labor right. And me I say, I hope she's safe if you make a statement like that in the public, you know. So later on I heard Mr. Desmond McKenzie saying that not $1 was spent, you know, to bring out that massive crowd. But the people are looking on, and let's see, them say what? Time longer than rope, and time will tell. So let's see what happened in the next couple of months, you know, when this local government election call. Let's see what happened in a couple of months, you know, when local government election call, and we see what go on there. So if it was just, you know, a hype take place yesterday, but it's the 80th anniversary of the Jamaica Labour Party, you know, formed 1943, seen, led by Bustamante. We have universal adult suffrage after that, and then goes for them first one, the election here in Jamaica. And they are here now as government. Now the people must decide, you know, if they are satisfied with what is happening or show their dissatisfaction, you know, because this is what they say is democracy. I am not seeing it, you know. We kind of see a kind of political inertia in Jamaica right now. You know what I mean? People just don't know what they do. You know, people just jump from one side to the other. They don't even understand it. And those who are in leadership, they are so self-centered. And them self-centeredness don't make them show any respect for themselves and neither the people. They don't show no respect for themselves, neither the people. You know, and this is what we are observing, you know, taking place, you know, in our country. But watch out, today is a beautiful day. And we have to make it beautiful. We have to keep ourselves beautiful. We have to make sure we cultivate the joy that we want inside. As we say, you know, we are on the community buzz, and what we tagline say, you know, from the home to the community. Let us be the change that we want to see, you know what I mean? And we are the change. From the home to the community to the wider world. Let's be the change that we want to see. So whatever changes you want to see in the world, you better cultivate that change within yourself first. You know what I mean? And as we talk about cultivate change within ourselves, we are going to talk to Stephanie Marley. See? And when we say Stephanie Marley, let me just check what our credentials are. Saying Stephanie Marley, humanitarian counseling psychologist, farmer, managing director of the Rita Marley Foundation. See? So we're going to talk to her, you know what I mean, about wake up Jamaica. You see me I say? And Jamaica really need a wake up, you know, on her level, political, spiritual, economical, you know. We just need to wake up, you know. And I must salute them for starting this movement. I sign on to be a volunteer, you know, and I am in for it because the truth is Jamaica need a wake up. You know, and we observe what is happening with most of our people. More so, we need a spiritual wake up more than anything else. Because no matter how much material, I see a whole heap of people are floss, but them unhappy, very unhappy. You see misery in them feet. Yes, they have money, but they're not satisfied with themselves. You know, so what is it that is missing? You know, if you have so much material things around you, but you're feeling empty. You understand? Before we get to Stephanie Marley, make we see if we can find a piece of music. Better Roses by Diana Wright. Saying,
Nubian king, you know I love you. No apologies when I chose you. Everything you do, I adore you. Just the way you are, I wouldn't change you. You make me bring back old times, something. Shivering the dead, it's at her dream. When you open the door for me, look that chair for me. Carry me down a church when you marry me. Life I don't know long days. The moon shines brighter in the darkness. And the tallest tree I know the strongest. Like under better roses, oh, deepest river, shines brighter in the darkness, and the tallest tree I know the strongest. Even though they say you can't afford me, deep in me heart, me know you love me. Hard work, never tell me say you wanna castle in this sky for me. You work till your strength runs dry. Yes, I need honesty, baby, I'm a guy. On no other cat to say no other. Yes, river on the longest. The moon shines brighter in the darkness, and the tallest tree I know the strongest. Like Annabella roses, oh, the deepest river on the longest. The moon shines brighter in the darkness, and the tallest tree I know the strongest. We have a nice little ranch down the orchard. Well, if I bet you where we plant, me now go hungry. Come and say, the tree and moving now we pantry. Give me a firm foundation when a Sunday. Him have no whole heap of money, but we comfortable. Him and me together, man, we
Yes. Life is not a bed of roses. Yes, we can create that bed of roses for ourselves, is what we create. But, as they are right, I say for a lot of people, it's not a bed of roses. So, you have to make sure you find a way out of this thistle and thorn that is there if you are suffering from that. You understand? So that is Diana Wright from 16 Bars Production. And those tunes is on www.16barsproduction.com. And you can go there and get them and many more. Some tune from Aymara and some tune from Gombe and other artists on the 16 Bars label. Yes, we are doing for ourselves. We are not on the other platforms. We have to create our own economic system and our own outlet, and distribute for ourselves. We are taking responsibility for ourselves. Right now, we have online, Sister Stephanie Marley, and she is humanitarian counseling psychologist, farmer, and managing director of the Rita Marley Foundation. She is a part of Wake Up Jamaica, right? And we're going to talk to her in just a moment, but psychology. When you hear about somebody who's a psychologist, is a Haitian. You don't say about psychology. Psychology is about the very old and very new. In one sense, it is almost old as mankind, yet in another sense, it is as new as space travel. For psychology, it is the study of the mind. It is an attempt to get behind the physical man and to understand things like thoughts and wishes, motives and desires, memories and feelings. Them kind of thing, it's deep, people who are trying to get in a people's mind and understand the whole vibration. Blessings and light, Stephanie Marley, how are you doing? Welcome to the Community Buzz on Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music. How are you doing, sister?
Give thanks, I'm doing well. Great to be here. Blessings unto you and your listeners.
Yes, yeah. Give thanks for having you here. Yes. Why psychologists? Why you study that principle, which is as whole as mankind?
I think initially, and I can remember wanting to study this from, I was in high school. I wanted to understand, I have a love for people and I wanted to understand how we function. I wanted to understand a little bit deeper of how we work and how we function as people.
Yeah. We hope it not working enough on this thing. I want it to work, the technology, because you're looking beautiful, you're well dressed, you come out and look beautiful, but you realize that some buffering is taking place. Yeah. So we hope we can have you on, but if we can't have you on, we are going to switch to the phone line. Yeah, we are hearing you now. You're hearing me now? Go ahead.
I'm hearing you clearly. I'm not sure if you're having a delay.
As you were saying.
I was saying I studied.
We're having a delay. It is delaying. Oh, okay, but
I think from I was in high school, I decided that I wanted to understand the human mind and behavior a little bit more. And so from very young, I knew that I was going into the field of psychology. I didn't know I would go into counseling until I got older and wiser, but definitely I needed to. I had a need to understand how we function.
Yes, so understanding how we function as human being, you know, per se, even us as African people. What are some of the findings that you come across, so you realize that, boy, we need to do something to change the way we are function now?
I mean, we started through creation, and I think that is our source of life and our source of strength. Everything comes from the Creator, who we are. And I think what's missing now is the distractions and social changes and all kind of things, come in the way of us and our connection with the Creator. So it's like the beginning and the end need to play a role in where we are today. We need to not just depend on ourselves and look to leaders on earth, but we do have to, as you said, spiritually awoke. And that's kind of what we want to do through the process of Wake Up Jamaica.
All right. We all get to Wake Up Jamaica, but we just want to see people understand the mind. You are just one of the person in Wake Up Jamaica, but you are playing a very important role. See, farmer, you are in farming. As a woman, most time when me hear a woman say them in farming, me kind of have to check deep, because me know say is a kind of serious mind that, me see the woman as the original farmer still, the nurturer of life. See? Or when I see a woman still a continue that original order, it gives me a kind of upliftment in my spirit. Why you're in farming? Tell me why you're in farming.
A part of it is an innate thing, I grew up and see my mother doing farming, and but apart from that, I think I also realized that the world is in a state right now where food is essential to life, and I see through through the pandemic and through other strategies, some other devices that I see them have some hidden agenda where they're going to use food to control us, and if food becomes scarce, which to me it appears it is becoming scarce, then that is a compromise to the whole livelihood, to your whole existence. So food is essential.
Yes, and it's mainly food, ground provision. That's what you're into, or livestock or whatever.
No livestock. Stay away from it because it's risky. And it takes a lot of more care and more manpower. So it's just food, not livestock. I do have some chickens and goats, but not to the level of how I'm farming. I still have some animals around. I need the manure, so I use my animals. We have fish in our water tank, so we're using all of that. So yeah, we're using animal more to help us sustain the farm.
Yeah. So yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, managing director of the
I know you were saying something.
Is still affecting you. I want to know. I just asked you a question, but I'm not hearing.
Yeah, just a while ago, as you said, Rita Marley Foundation. I know you're asking something about the foundation, but I didn't hear the question.
Yeah, so I was saying, as managing director of the Rita Marley Foundation, or is that aspect of it working? What is the foundation as a
The Rita Marley Foundation is one of the charitable arms through the Bob Marley Group of Company. The Rita Marley Foundation specifically focuses on working to assist the elders and the youth. So we have a lot of education and health programs. We go into the communities, we do health fairs, we support every year. We have our back to school programs. We work with Mary's Child, which is a home for teenage pregnant mothers. So we stay involved on a community level where it has to do with assisting the elders and the youths.
Mm-hmm. Listen, yeah. Some people are kind of link when I wonder if the thing not working, so for flow nice, you know. Thing to Hamburg right now, right? Seeing you hear me clearly, those sister. You hear me clearly?
Yeah, man, I am.
All right. It's just you must say, boy, no show today. Yes, man, we're on the show. Plus the website seems to be down. Yes, the website down. But search for Fit FM, brethren. Search for Fit FM, and you know, once you find Fit FM, we're on other platforms. Then you can also go over all casting and Primal 4K, so you can find me over there, right? See now, Stefan, we are talking about Wake Up Jamaica, see, and you're a part of that organization or movement. What is the main reason for start? Give a little historical background when you decide to start it and the reason.
So it really started when we got the residents of the Bob Marley Beach in Bull Bay contacted us. Now, we don't own the beach, but the beach is a part of our history and our life, because particularly when I was born, I was taken home to Bull Bay. My family lived in Bull Bay, right across from the beach. And so it's a place where we have a lot of connections, you know, a lot of people who live there work for our families, yes, to maintain the relationships with the residents down there, and our use of the beach for the therapeutic values that it has. And, you know, I was on the beach one day, and a resident came to me to tell me that the government is trying to sell the beach and is warning them to get off of the property, and they needed some support. And from that, I got in touch with Dr. Devon Taylor of Jabem for his assistance, because I know of the work that they're doing regarding beach access and the rights to the beaches. And that's really what started this, because when I got in touch with Devon and realized that beaches around the entire island were under threat, it wasn't just our beach, then I realized the magnitude of the situation, and we figure, say, this is going to take collective action. From there, we started to collaborate with the Advocate Network, who they're a part of Wake Up Jamaica. As you say, it's more of a movement. It is a public education and empowerment campaign. And one of the things we know we need collaboration, and we need the people to be involved in this. So, Jano, extra blessings to you, Imara, because you are our first volunteer. And it was such a delight and an upliftment to see that in no time you reached out to us, and now here we are speaking.
Yes.
Thank you.
We observe that. Yeah, we give thanks, sister, for that initiative. Yeah, we observe that the beach situation in Jamaica is a serious situation, right? And we don't even know how we're going to deal with it, because when we look on the 1956 Beach Act, right? We realize that there are so many things, you know, that is there that we need to deal with pertaining to the laws, you know, because really and truly, if you observe it, we realize the people, you know, are not a part of this whole thing. How is it that we are going to deal with these situations? Sometimes we even talk about lands where we realize certain values. I was talking to somebody recently who claimed that he has how much in acres of land, and the government want to take it away from him. So Wake Up Jamaica is to make people understand, you know, the struggle that we are facing. How many people are a part of the foundation right now, or that movement?
Right now, we have 4 main organizations. JABEM is a part of Wake Up Jamaica, the Advocates Network, Humanity Over Vanity, and Getsa Youth United. Of course, the Rita Marley Foundation, Bob and Rita Marley, because anything we do it together.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great that's great. Yeah, that's great. You're getting the support from the public,
We launched in October. Ironically, the day there was the earthquake. So we figured that when the earth crust was shifting, our prayers that there was also a shift beyond that inner crust level, but also to the mindset of the people. And as we talk about the psychology, the reason why we even named the campaign Wake Up Jamaica is because we see and we sense that our nation is in a state of numbness. The level of hopelessness is too high. And when people get to that level, numbing themselves, becoming comatose, falling asleep is one of the defense mechanisms. But if we stay in that state for too long, it leads to death. We can't stay in comatose for too long. We have to find a source of strength to wake up ourselves. And this is why we believe educating the people, empowering them, will lead to their ultimate liberation, to our liberation, which is our goal. Our goal is liberation. And, you know, we have some strategies that we believe are fundamental. So we have to deal with the youths, we have to deal with the parents, because it is going very grassroots, and we have to work from a community level.
True. And that is very important, you know, to work at that community levels. The community of Bull Bay, where the Bob Marley Beach situated. What about the people there? How much are they involved in the whole aspect of making sure that they can have access to the beach?
It's unfortunate that initially their lives were being threatened. And so, you know, we really had to bring in, as I say, different ones who we know. Alan Skillcole came out there, Dr. Taylor and his brother, who works with conflict resolution, because there was some conflict going on in the community as well. But through working together, you know, through sitting with the community that lives out there, we were able to get everybody in one accord. And through that, at least one family has now gotten title for 4 acres of land. And we're working to assist the other families, still in court with some of the residents down there, trying to assist them. But we have made some progress.
4
acres of land has been properly awarded to a family. Sorry?
And yeah, it's a part of the beach property, the person who got the 4 acres of land. I was asking
they're on the beach. The
support of the public, you know.
Oh, support of the public was great. We had a petition out there, and I think the petition.
So the people who got the 4 acres of land. Okay, that's what I want to find out, you know. Yeah, the support of the public.
It was well supported, yes, definitely.
So the 4 acres of land that you talk about, it have nothing to do with it. Okay, see. So you mentioned something about 4 acres of land. What is that about? I want to get that clear. I want the people out there to understand clearly what you're saying.
So the land that surrounds the beach, or the land that the beach that the sea surrounds, is over 200 acres of land. There's still some 100 and I think 60 or odd acres that we're not even contesting. It's up in the mountains, and from what we've heard, Regency Resort has somehow magically, because the owners of this land, the land really belongs to the people who have been living there, according to the laws of our country. But they miraculously found some mysterious owners and bought that. That's Regency. The 4 acres that I referred to is going to a family that have been living there for over 40 years from the Rasta community.
Okay. That's great. And people will have access to that 4 acres of land to the beach. That's what we want to find out that.
Okay, so it's tricky because the beach is on the inland. To really get to the beachfront, you have to drive through a community, the Bull Bay community. Those residents still live there. They're building a road now. The part of the highway that they're doing in St. Thomas does affect the access to the beach. But currently there's still access, and we're fighting for access to remain, which is why, being non-politically aligned, having no great interest in politics at all, I should say no great or small interest in it, dealing with the constitution reform as part of our public education campaign became important because land is an issue for us. And until we deal with the rights, the law and the order and the justice of the land, we're not going to get the liberation for the people. We're not going to get justice. So we do have to dig a little deeper than, for me, it's coming out of my comfort zone. Getting into anything that is politically related is kind of out of my comfort zone. But I see where this constitution reform, it's like a window of opportunity for change.
Yes.
If the people get up and stand up and wake up to what needs to be done. And one of the main things we want to achieve is people understanding the role of a citizen and the importance of their participation.
Yeah, that's important.
Certainly.
That's important, the role of a citizen. You said that but you are still interested in the constitutional reform. Don't you realize that that is a political action? Because we understand they are not getting involved in politics, and we can maybe look at it as the partisan politics that exists in Jamaica between the two main political parties, the PNP and the GLP. Wake up Jamaica. Don't you feel, don't you think that this is a political action you take?
I think we've looked on it more of a liberation action. That is what it is. I mean, the only reason why it becomes relevant as part of what we're doing is because the Constitution governs the order and the regulation of justice to the people. And if that is what we want, if we want liberation, we kind of have to start at the beginning. As I said earlier, you can't want to deal with things in the middle of the situation without even knowing the historical essence of what we're doing and why. So you have to begin as a psychologist. When we're trying to do healing, we can't just heal on the surface where we're comfortable. We have to dig deep and go into the root causes. And so a part of the reason why the 1956 beach access, you understand, is those are the things that are working against us. And so looking at constitution reform is only to restore justice to the people. And if we have to do it, then we have to do it. But it is about being the change that, as you said earlier, that we want to see. It makes no sense that I complain and mumble about it if I am not going to be an active part of the solution.
And that is why we look at activism, as something very important, and we're happy that to see, Ghetto Youth Foundation. I'm happy that we see them a part of this movement, taking this kind of action, to make sure that the people have a certain level of freedom and access to the basic amenities of life. Why somebody would want to deprive, and when you look, the people who are depriving ourselves coming out of the same background. How important, as you talk about dialogue, how important, dialogue should be when it comes to even the political directorate, because we need to talk to them too. How important that is.
It is important, but I think before we talk to them, we have to organize ourselves. We have to empower ourselves. We don't want to talk to them when we're half asleep. And when the majority is not aware and conscious and understand. I think the first thing before we talk to them is really level of consciousness.
Yeah. So therefore, we must wake up before we even can engage them, because that's what you said.
Yeah. We have to be conscious.
Yes.
We have to really be awake.
Yeah. Seeing. Now, as I talk about conscious, and as a psychologist, seeing, we are going to talk about that. As a psychologist, you must observe some of the lacking in consciousness around the people, how spiritually conscious our people are, from your research, from your imparting knowledge and counseling, as a counselor, or what you see a lot of the people missing. You feel like the people really know themselves, know them rights, and know what they need to do to protect and defend those rights.
It's unfortunate that if I take the demographic of the persons who I'm counseling right now, we're caught up in ourselves. This is what society will become, caught up in everything that is going on with the inner man, and we have detached ourselves from even our families. Sometimes there's a cutoff in the family for whatever reason. Sometimes it's justified, sometimes it's unavoidable, and then we cut off from our community, and we cut off ourselves from the political side of things, because we don't want to engage in anything that is so corrupt and disruptive and clearly not in the best interest of the people. So we have a habit of isolating ourselves to the degree that we function better in our own little bubbles. And that causes a problem, because we lack empathy for the other person. And we really are communal beings, I mean, we can see each other and relate to each other physically, but beyond the physical level, like when my approach to psychology, I take a holistic approach. I don't just come in there to do an assessment of your mental state, but I want to assess your emotional state. I want to, and I will ask you, how well are you sleeping? Because I care about your physical state. One of the most important of all the dynamics of the whole person is the spiritual self. And I found that my clients who are open to spiritual development, they heal faster and they have more lasting results. I do have clients who tell me, I don't believe in God. I don't want to hear about the creator. And those clients who depending on themselves to help themselves and heal themselves, I tell them all the time, as a therapist, I'm only a facilitator. I cannot produce healing if they don't engage themselves in the holistic level. And it's the same thing with people in Jamaica, in general, with our society and the state of our country. We're caught up in the bread and butter issues. When we first started to look on how we're going to execute this campaign, we realized that if you're not talking to people about them pocket and their money and food on them table, if you're not talking to them directly about that, a lot of them have no interest, because them say everything else is above and beyond right now. Them want food on them table, roof over them heads. And so to some level, you can't get people to engage in certain levels of dialogue, because all them want no say is them getting paid and them can buy food. And we need more than that to survive.
Stephanie, just hold a minute. Just hold a minute. We're going to take a break. I will take the break. We maybe just put you on the phone line because you're saying some very important thing, and it seems like the internet is breaking up. So we just will take a break, play some music, and maybe call you on the phone line to get a bit
Okay.
flowing vibration.
People crying, more complaining, working hard, came to their sick needs on their knees. To the Lord they bow and plead. More complaining, blood, sweat, and tears all through these many years. Preachers preach, politician never really cares. People crying. More complaining, get up from your knees, go for what is yours, even if it means you got to tear down the door. Yeah, tear down the goddamn door.
Yes, we say, the people crying, you know what I mean? That is your truly Aymara, you know? It's out there, as we say, 16 bars, you know what I mean? And we have online Stephanie Marley, and we're talking about waking up Jamaica, right? And what is happening here now? See if yeah, she's online. Yeah, blessings and light. Yeah, so we are talking to Stephanie Marley. You know, the technology goes sometime, you know. Sometimes it's up and sometimes it's down. And sometimes it's clear and sometimes it is just what you call it, buffering, according to my brethren, Bugle. You know what I mean? Sometimes our life is still in a little buffering. But as I said, people crying and more complaining. But we want to stop the complaining and we have to find a way. So get up off your knees. Go for what is yours. You know what I mean? Even if you have to tear down those doors to get inside. You know? So is she there? Yeah. See? So that is it, you know? Jamaica need to wake up right now. And we give thanks when we say, you know, female are in that leadership position, are taking a stance. You know? She talk about the advocacy network, and we realize that it's a group out there where the voices are very loud, you know, and we have to give support to that. And that's why I personally, you know, out there, the people who are listening to Fit FM, if you want to call in, you want to share our vibes, those are listening. If numbers are 876-478-9144, 876-513-6668. So you can call in, you can share your views, and you can send in a text, you know. As I said, the numbers are 876-478-9144, 876-513-6668, you know, and that's Fit FM, you know what I mean? And we are on the other networks out there, you know, our website are going through a little challenge that we soon set that back, you know, so we are upgrading. So as soon as we up forward again, you can go there. So all the brethren from Canada, Michael, Pomoja, bless up yourself, brethren, listening and tuning in, you know what I mean, and inquiring what is happening. But we are here, and we are talking to Stephanie Marley from Wake Up Jamaica. How are you doing, sister? You are there now? I'm not hearing you. Ask her if she have on her headphone or headset or thing. If you, yeah, we don't understand why we are get a buzz here. See? But you need to continue to play some music. As I say, people, Here on Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music, you know. So we got to be good to our brothers and our sisters. So wake up, Jamaica. Wake up, Jamaica.
You gotta be good to your brother, man. And you got to love your sister too. Na 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 na. You better be good to everyone. And Jah will shine. I know He'll shine His light in you. As I travel life lonely road, I see many fall along the way. But the race is not for the swift, nor the battle for the strong. But time and chances face us all. Why, time and chances face us all. We not give it up. We can't give it up. We never give it up. We can't give it up. Sitting on the outside looking in. Life seems so gloomy all the way. So I've got this truck, I've got to hold on. The tribulation we face that day by day. Why I pray to Jah so I won't go astray. Nah, give it up. We can't give it up. We never give it up. I said we can't give it up.
We are online now, so we can't get the people to tune in to YouTube. We are going via telephone now, see, but you know you can listen, you know, if you are on YouTube, but you will not see any visual because we are having this here with the technology. And that is how it works here in Jamaica. Sometimes the technology is up and sometimes it is down. Right? So if you're there, sir, what is going on today? Oh, we are getting a delay now. Stephanie, you need to turn off the computer if you're still listening. Just turn it off and just steer to your phone and just listen. Okay, so you're hearing clearly. Yeah, so just listen straight through the phone. Yeah, somebody, yes, bless up yourself, H.M. Shishat from England. You are saying that you are seeing clearly and hearing clearly, but we don't know what going on full side. You see clear and you hear clearly. I don't know, maybe also. We have to just go online. So to just pick up Mr. About the blood issue in people, something we have to face every time we talk to people. When you observe that kind of we have to call it a behavior from our people, you know, what do you think?
I'm not able to hear him clearly.
You not hear me clearly?
No.
Oh.
I'm connected to the call through the program director.
Yes.
I'm hearing her side of things, which I know she's quite, but I can't hear her moving, but I'm not hearing you clearly. You can connect to your phone.
No.
It's unfortunate that when I turn on the computer, I can hear you through the computer, but then it gives you a feedback.
Yes, it will work. You will listen to me through the computer because we are online. We are going straight online. But people who are listening YouTube and watching via YouTube saying that you're hearing or seeing us clearly, but we just feel a little bit uncomfortable with all the delays, you know. We don't know if we want to go back to that, Julia, and to see what's happened, but
Okay, tell her to go back on there.
yeah, well, this is how it works sometimes, you know, sister. The technology can have way. So if you want to relink and and connect,
Yes, let's try again.
yes. So I could play some music, people. This is how it is. It's radio, and don't matter make it believe that it is something that everything have to be perfect. And there's no such thing as perfection in this life. Yeah, we are going to buck up on some challenges, and we have to dance and jump over them. And sometimes we have to go up on our belly and creep under it too. And sometimes we have to fly. And if it means to swim, we swim. You see what I'm saying? But you know, this is what is happening now, and we are just holding the vibes and make sure that it works in our best interest, and if it not just our interest but the people interest. So bless up to the people who are listening on YouTube. We'll come forward, and just stay in tune. My brother Michael, you can go to Fit FM and watch on YouTube, and we're on Facebook, and if we're on Facebook too, we can. So we're back, Stephanie. Make us see what going on here. So again, as I was saying, you mentioned the bread and butter issue, and we realize that it's a challenge, and we see people, every move where people make nowadays with you, the first thing them ask you, how much we can get?
Yeah.
Bigger picture. Now, that is one of the first thing when we jump to say, boy, I am willing to be a volunteer in any movement, because we realize that even that, I would call it social consciousness. I believe volunteerism should be a social consciousness where everybody should understand their role, in making the other human being feel safe in themselves. As a psychologist, oh, you look at that when you realize that people just think about them bread and butter.
I realize it's desperate times, we're living in some desperate times, and
wow,
we have an order of priority on that hierarchy of needs. So when we look on the hierarchy of needs, foods is up there. But as you speak about volunteers and your willingness to volunteer, any person who we assist through the Rita Marley Foundation, we insist that they give back to community. So once we help someone else, they are challenged to make sure that they too give back from what they have received. And so it causes that whole helping one another, a spirit of helping, being willing to contribute, even if it's not a pocket issue, but it's a development issue.
To cut off from yourself, to cut off from yourself, there's a thing where you say, even in psychology, it is something that it is say you cannot lose yourself, are not really taking serious look within themselves and to understand the value of self. You come across that.
Definitely. You see, as we grow up, from a baby, from an infant into a child, an adolescent, then into an adult, your first instinct, is self, right? But as you grow from the I phase, you go to the we phase, and you learn that in order for you to survive, you have to depend on someone. So your parents become important, and bonds with other people in life become important. But intrinsically and innately is the survival of self. How do I do that? Right? And sometimes people need to cut off from those in their environment, from those in their family, from their own society, from community, from the governance system, in order for them to be able to keep a balance within self, because those other things pull on you and take from you and deplete you. Sometimes they add to you. And so that is the risk of cutting off. When you cut off and become isolated, there are pros and cons. There are definitely benefits to being isolated and being still and,
Yes.
and hearing what is going on inside of you, being able to reflect on yourself. There's value to that. But it's also important. I think the true development of an individual is when we realize that we're here to serve and that we actually do feel much better when we're not just serving ourselves, but we find ourselves serving other gives us more reward than even when we serve ourselves sometimes.
Yeah. And you see, when I look at it, Stephanie, we're always serving, but how it is reciprocating, that is one of the things that we have to look on. You know what I mean? Some giving everything, or some people is exploiting everything out of the people, and the people constantly give, and some people is getting, what I call it, inflated, and some people just don't have any at all, and those who don't have any are giving so much. Now, with that kind of consciousness, because that is even a part of the psychological thing that is affecting the people right now. There are some people who are giving so much of themselves, yet not seeing what they should really get. Like the people who are the grassroots people here in this country. And that is a part of the whole thing. And we're talking about waking up Jamaica. The people who contributed to the economic well-being of the rich and powerful. How is it that we are going to find a way to reclaim all that we have contributed to all of that development? What is it we can do?
That's a big question, because again, we have to go back to the roots. I mean, to reclaim what is owed to us. We know it's been a struggle through reparations, but I think reparations is important even to the psychology, to the economy, and to the social development of our people. So, it goes back to that. But for us to reclaim what has been taken for us, we have to first understand the history of our people from the beginning, how we got to the Caribbean, what happened when we got here, how colonialization affected the mental state of the people. Because, Gang say, free yourself from mental slavery is a very important part of the process, because we are mentally enslaved. And I myself, I'm not totally free, but I'm working hard for my own liberation. And I realize that in the process of liberating myself, I can't help but see that others need liberation too, and try and contribute to that process.
True.
And so to free yourself, we cannot wait for them to give us freedom. We cannot wait for those who want to keep us in captivity. It is going to have to be something that we empower and believe in ourselves to do.
You see, when we observe the system that we are in now, right? And a lot of our people, we are this new generation that we are facing, and they come out of us, and we have to take responsibility that these are our children, whether they are our biological children or whether they are somebody else's children, right? We have to look what we do wrong in the past 15, 20, 25 years, that we have to be facing this kind of materialistic driven mind more than a mind of communal living. What we do wrong, why everybody becomes so self-centered rather than community-centered or communal-centered? What we do wrong, Stephanie, as a psychologist? What we go wrong?
We have scars, we have scars. There's scars that have been left from trauma from our foreparents, right? So where we've gone wrong, I guess, is following, the different, you have the Marxism, the industrialism, communism, socialism. And I think the structures that were created to control and to bring order and to organize the systems have come to the downfall of man, because none of them were properly created to support the enhancement of humanity, but it was more of the enslavement. And I think that is where it really went wrong. They didn't really want to help us. There's a lot of trickery and corruption going on from beginning, from Bible days. But I think we go wrong by the structures and the systems that were put in place.
You mentioned Marxism, you mentioned communism, and we realize that none of those systems never really take root. One of the systems that continue to rule is we see it modified to what we call now capitalism, right? Is the same exploitatory system of it moved from free labor to wage labor, and people are in this way of getting a wage. But they are still not satisfied because they have to be doing so much. And even when they believe that they climb out of the ladder, and when they feel like them in a so-called comfort zone now, they are locked now in a gated community, but they realize that they are more self-imprisoned by how the system organized, because it's not even really them who made that conscious choice to be there, but it is what is created for them. How many people realize that what is happening now is not even the people themselves who make the conscious choice, but are some people creating a superstructure or an infrastructure and imposing it on the people? How much of us?
There's a significant impact on us from the structures that were created and imposed upon us. And a lot of us don't realize it because we're born in it. And this is what we're going to come see. And it becomes normalized. It really becomes normalized. And we're not aware of it. That is why being conscious is important, because we're not aware of it.
Yes, yeah. So that is why when we hear the term "wake up Jamaica," because we have to wake up out of that, we have to wake up out of the illusion of comfort to believe that me I drive a SUV and me I drive through a gated community with my tag on my SUV, and when me go in there, so me feel safe. So me no business with who outside. But when you come out of your gated community, you have to come interact with the people outside, right? And not knowing that what you are in is created by somebody else. That is a serious psychological thing,
And that safety net is becoming thinner and thinner. That is what those who feel safe in their community or safe with their security have to realize, that if a change doesn't occur now, as I said earlier, the importance and significance of the Constitution reform is the window of opportunity that it presents at this given moment. And if we don't harness it now, the window is going to close. Because what is happening now is we have an opportunity to equalize the system to a greater degree than it is right now, that it benefits everyone and not just the few. You know, and then as you say about feeling safe, the truth of the matter is the system and the society is not going to stay as it is now. It only will get worse if there's nothing done to cause it to get better. It's not going to stay as it is. It is deteriorating. It's at a rapid rate as well.
Well, yeah, we observe that. And consciousness, to awaken our consciousness, we really have to have more of this kind of dialogue, more deep communication. You talk about bread and butter. When you invite people to come out, because there was a time in the 80s, right, when we used to move around and active politically, right? We used to have meetings, and we have community centers and places where we meet up and just hold a reasoning, you know. You find that happening within your circle as a young woman right now. Or much of that is happening when we meet up. Otherwise, some a discussion from like on the ear now. She's there,
I'm
you
here.
know. Otherwise, some of this, yeah, all right. Otherwise, some of discussion that we are having, yes or no. Or regular, you have people meet up and say, make we meet up under the undercraft, or you know, and hold some conscious vibration. You know, when we used to depend on the Edna Manley College, we used to sit down on one tree over at Edna Manley, what we call a tree there again. We used to sit down on that tree there and just hold serious reasoning. Or sometimes we sit down in the amphitheater saying, or upon the block at the corner at a room 30 in a school of music. You find people a world of vibes there. I mean, I talk about how much money you have and how much girl you have and them things, but talk about the issues that are affecting us economically, psychologically, politically, and spiritually. How we are going to find a way to liberate ourselves from that. You find that happen now?
It's less and less. Unfortunately, it's less and less, and technology has also impacted that. You know, travel and distancing ourselves. You know, economic necessities. You know, people moving from where their families are to be able to go and work somewhere else. But it's happening less and less. But I must say that I live in a community where via WhatsApp, our community network is very strong.
Right.
But then we're not seeing each other like we used to do back when we used to go up into the community center. When I was a child, I used to have meetings at the community center. They're hardly having physical meetings there now, but we communicate with each other almost every day in our WhatsApp group chat. So technology is affecting that. But one thing that Wake Up Jamaica wants to do is to go into organizations, go into associations, you know, meet with the private sector, you know, meet with civil society, wake up these different associations and groups, because what we do know is, you know, realities that the government can do so much and no more. And another reality is that we know that we cannot depend our whole life fully and wholehearted on government to do everything for us as a people. So we have to take responsibility for the change that we want to see, because we're going to be waiting lifelessly if we're sitting down and expecting government to improve, or government to change, or government to care. If that's what we're doing, we're definitely wasting time. But when we speak to different groups and associations and go into different communities to wake up that which you were asking about, then the potential of becoming alive again, awake again, and effective is greater. Greater potential for it.
This you mentioned government doing for us, because we are the one who's supposed to be the one who are governing the government. It's not the government supposed to govern us. You see what I say? Now we have to wake up that consciousness. Are we going to take charge that rather than government giving orders, the people are the one consciously saying to government, these are the things that we are demanding from you when we when you are enjoying our tax dollars, you are getting the kind of salaries that you are taking. See? And we should be at the position where we decide how much you, the government, are paid for the work that you are doing. It's not you supposed to take pay. So me look on this thing what we're calling democracy as an upside down system, you know. If you observe it, it's more like an upside down system, because even when you hear people say majority rule, there is no way under democracy where is majority rule. And anybody will out there want you. Majority might go out and vote for one day, but the ruling is not ever the majority.
We need to go back to community assemblies. We need some citizens associations. We need to delegate some responsibility to some persons who I think they should act more like delegates than representatives. You know, I'm here studying what structure can really work for Jamaica, because I don't think a democracy that works for one country can work for all. I think if we're moving to a republic or whatever it is, whatever structure or system it is, it needs to cater to Jamaica. It needs to be customized, standardized, and structured so that it works for the nature and the needs of our people. It can't be a general thing that them have as a blueprint and just stamp it on us, because that's not going to work. Something have to be recreated for our nation.
Yeah. If it is a system that is being created by somebody else and imposed upon us, that is not democracy. If we understand according to the definition of what them say democracy is supposed to be. But if you create a system and say this is what the entire world, for instance, we hear them talk about 2030 vision. 2030 vision is what? Or what you observe that to be. You know, when you hear them say 2030 vision, because it is not something that is developed by separate country or say, boy, by 2030 we have to do it. It's coming from the globalist agenda. Yes. And they are setting this order that the people must follow, that you must fall in line. If you don't fall in line with this, you're an outcast. So
I believe it has that.
We can't have, because we must have that.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I believe that 2030 vision has something to do with the one world agenda, creating this globalized society.
But how it ever work? If and when you look who are the drivers behind this one world agenda, this is where the problem lies. It's the same people who oppress and enslave, especially us as Africans.
Right.
Are we going to allow our oppressors were still? And if you observe what is happening in the Congo, if you observe what is taking place in the Middle East, in Palestine right now, it's the same set of people, it's the same mindset that is doing all of these damage. And they are the one who are directing how the world's supposed to run. We're going to make that shift.
We have to create our own agenda. We have to create our own agenda.
And we must make that step. We must make that step. And that's why we have a program like this. What agenda we are going to create that is going to suit the all and not the few who created this so-called democracy and give to the world. Yet they are telling you that you have a free choice, but it is an illusion, because you really don't have no free choice. Because when you come with something that are opposing, I know like you definitely oppose them, but a way that is working for the all rather than for the few, you become a rebel, a socialist, or some derogatory names that they might put on you, and some in time gone them all call you madman or call you lunatic, just like what they did to Marcus Garvey, just like what they did to Leonard Will. As somebody who grew up in a Rastafari family, you know, so they may put Leonard Will in a Bellevue as a lunatic, you know that.
Sure. I tell you what they do to us as people,
Yeah.
What they do to us, what they did to Marcus Garvey, as you're saying, what they did to Howell, all of that still has a traumatic effect on the generation that we're in right now. That what them do to him was meant to entrap all of us, to show us that if we try to liberate ourselves, this is the example of what can happen.
Yeah.
To build fear into us, to undermine us.
So, wake up, Jamaica. To liberate yourself, we have to realize it is not an easy task. That is the first thing we have to say to our people, don't it?
Yes, we have to be real.
We have to be real. And we have to prepare ourselves on every level, spiritually, physically, mentally,
emotionally.
And in some, and we have to find that economic background, and the economic structure have to be more communal than individual. because as a psychologist, may I pick your brain on all of them things, Stephanie.
Please
When we
do.
look at, when we look on a structure that we are in, capitalism, see, and you said it earlier about how people are selfish or self-centered, the I rather than the us. And we want to break down that we can have a more us. We look on the banking system. We look on how, the design that everybody is competing against each other. We see the culture that we are in now is a more competitive culture on all levels. What can we do? You just talk about the Rita Marley Foundation. You talk about Ghetto Youth Movement or organization, But when we observe, my dear sister, a lot of the people who are in these movements are trained by the system, the same colonial, self-centered system. What new can we bring to all of that to shift the mindset of our people?
I don't know if it requires something new, I really more feel like it requires something old, like the spirit of our heroes. I think it requires us understanding the history of how we get to where we are. That way we would know that we become conscious that this is not our norm. This is not really who we are. We have become westernized. The fighting spirit that we're born with as a people has been nulled down. And I think also we need to realize that we're more similar than we are different.
Yeah. So you are saying we need a reawakening of the spirits of our ancestors. We need a reawakening within our DNA, our memory. We need to remember what we are and realign ourselves to the foundation of where we're really coming from. That's what you are saying.
Yeah, man. This new character that we have taken on is not really of ourselves, it's of the system. This is what they have created for us. And we realize that it's not in our best interest.
Yes.
And it's not who we
Stephanie,
are.
you have children. You're a mother, Stephanie?
I have 4 sons and many children that I didn't born, but I born 4.
4 sons. Because there's a sister, she's in England right now, an interview already, she named Harley Anlan. And she's saying we have to focus on educating the children on all these things that them can understand. And so you have 4 sons, and I believe you must have started. So what kind of knowledge are we imparting to our children to make that shift? Are we going to allow them to continue into the same self-centered system if we really want to wake up Jamaica? Or we really have to make the conscious shift and say, watch out, we need a new kind of education, a new infrastructure, a new awakening, a reawakening, for you really know where I come from. So rather than you just believe, say, everything where you have. If you observe your house, say, because these are the little things we have to look on, that when a youth eat, he just wash out film plate alone, and him going at the sink and he say, whole heap of plate, and he just wash film and gone. What you say to a youth like that? Can you ever show you a sign, saying just a thing for himself? What you say to a youth?
Yeah, no, well, back to the original question and the fact, what the listener was saying about educating the youth and how I impart knowledge onto my youth, my children, is that I think the important thing, going back to that point, is that we have to first know who we are. Our identity is important as a people. We have to have a strong sense of identity and hold on to it so that nothing compromises who we are as a people. And there's compromise going on right now. After I've imparted upon them who they are, I try to teach them that they have to become dependent individuals, not dependent, but independent to a point, not so dependent on me as a parent or on society, but them have to know how to find themselves in the struggle, and then bringing them to awareness, of what the system is really like. Knowledge is power. She made a good point, because when we launched our campaign, the first thing we did was we started with a school tour. We went straight in to the students and we invited them in. We had 100 students. We were hoping for 150, but we had 100 students gathering together. And the first thing, we have presenters. Stephen Golden was a presenter from UNIA. Professor Hamilton from Advocates Network, Donisha Prendergast from Humanity Over Vanity, and we had Sergey Boswell, who is a member of the Constitution Reform Committee. We even had the Electoral of Jamaica office present to these students, and we did a mock election to sensitize them of what the role of a citizen really is. And the first presenter started with the history of Jamaica, and when we heard students saying they never was taught that in school, and these were sixth formers.
Who was the presenter who started with the history of Jamaica?
Stephen Golden.
Stephen Golden, great. Yeah, him really versed in that field. Yeah. And how was the reaction of the children, listening to him? What was the vibes?
They were engaged. They realized who they are by hearing of the identity of their foreparents. They understood that right now we look at voting as something that we don't do because it only supports a corrupt system. But then Stephen was able to impart upon them how the foreparents fought for us to have the right to vote. But what we want to do is bring it beyond that, because we want them to realize that although voting is how they say you have a voice, there have to be other ways, musically, artistically, creatively, that we can demonstrate our voice and our needs. You understand? I believe that there's not enough platforms for people who don't join the political party to have a voice. And Wake Up Jamaica wants to create a platform for those people who are not voting. For those, how much I've heard, what I've said, 37% of the voting body, that is not of the whole Jamaican population, but only 37% of the people of the percentage of people who are registered to vote, only 37% of the registered voters voted. Therefore, there's a large percent of the population who is not using our voice. And what are we doing?
Yeah. Not using the voice for voting. That's what you're saying.
We're not using our voice to demonstrate our dissatisfaction with the system.
Okay. And that really, touch me to the core, to see our people become docile, our people become passive. There was a time that even in the 80s, the 90s, we nothing pass, man. We don't make nothing slide. We are going to challenge something that we say not really right in our community. We are going to challenge it. No, we realize that people are saying, what? Would I do the same thing? It's like, let me put it in another way. I observe that most of our people, if you talk to them, they are envious of the seat of the oppressors. And that is serious. See? Check out YouTube chat. Audrey as EL. Bless up, Audrey. Bless up. People are listening to it all over Europe, Stephanie.
Nice.
So me have to,
Yeah, man.
so
Connect with them.
Yeah, man.
I
So we're
welcome
glad.
them to ask questions and give suggestions.
Yeah. Yes. And this sister HMS she's a poet, she's a author, and we had her here, twice. She was somebody who helped me to go and do some research on the CARICOM 10-point plan for reparation, which really have some deep thing inside of that. She is a part of the Windrush movement over there, and she's organizing people to get things done back here and Jamaica and over there. So what we're really observing when we say wake up Jamaica, it is Jamaican, but Jamaicans all over the world. So this kind of international networking is what we want, because we really cannot survive without that kind of international networking, you know. And this is one of the and this is one of the things we need to look into, you know, when we listen to, even yesterday, listening to the opening remarks of the Prime Minister, right? And we must point out these things, even though, you know, you say we don't want to be partisan, but these things are affecting us. And whether we're partisan, yes or no, but we have to look on what is taking place and how they are impacting our lives. He was trying to clear the air that they are taking responsibility of what and making their voices heard, you know, pertaining to what is taking place on the international arena, the war, the violence, and all of these things. There are so many things. We observe that things are taking place close in our backyard right now. We don't know what it is going to be like in the next couple of months or weeks or years, right? Because we see a little firelight between Venezuela and Guyana, and we must pay attention to that, because if that really strike, it can be devastated for the entire region. So networking is very important when it comes to, you know, us as a people, what we're really going to do, how we're connected to the people in the Caribbean. Let me ask you this. Wake Up Jamaica is making that kind of link with our Caribbean brothers and our Caribbean sisters.
Internationally, internationally for sure, because when we look on it, you know, there are actually more Jamaicans and descendants of Jamaicans living outside of Jamaica than there are living here. So there's a wider body, and though we're saying wake up Jamaica, we really mean wake up Jamaicans. And we actually want to serve our purpose of affecting the whole human race. A part of our national pledge says that as Jamaica, we should play our part in advancing the welfare of the whole human race. We're hoping that Wake Up Jamaica becomes an example for Wake Up the World. And you know that Jamaica as a small dot on the map have a lot of global appeal and global influence. And so there's a lot of things we can do as Jamaicans. There are a lot of things that we can do as Jamaican. That's why our identity, you know, in this globe is very important. We have to know who we are and where we're coming from, and we have to know where we're going. This is not us. Indocile is not really a part of our natural nature.
Yeah.
But yes, we are making connections globally to Jamaicans all over the world.
Yes.
For networking.
You mentioned Ghetto Youth Foundation as a part of the whole Wake Up Jamaica, right? When I first heard about Ghetto Youth, I believe it was in the 90s, and I have been by Tough Gang. I did many of my recordings at Tough Gang Recording Studio. See, we observe the foundation that the gang laid, right? And we see what he did with music as a revolutionary musician. We see how many souls he touched. And we realized that in his transition, you know, it was a deliberate thing to hold on the consciousness, to hold on the revolutionary fire. Now we realize when I hear that coming as a regular as it should be, you know, to have the people mind on a level, because that aspect of the culture is very, very important and powerful. What is their contribution? How them see it? Are the Ghetto Youth Foundation still want to engage with, promote and send out some conscious sounds, some revolutionary sounds that will touch the heart of the people, and not just by through the airwaves, but just to be with the people, be with some youth, and said to them, said, this is where we need to take this thing, you know, if we really want to see it with people. We hear voices like Buju Banton cry out recently, you know, we are, and it's 1 and 2 because he's more vocal than anybody else. I mean, I hear much from the other brothers and sisters. Everybody are talk about God, but what kind of God? We are sent to them, which God? When I look at that, my sister, how much they are doing, Ghetto Youth Foundation, pertaining to the music.
So again, I like to go back to the roots of things, you know. So from inception, from the days of creation, music is a part of the healing process. And to today, as you read about psychology, it's from the beginning to where astronomy is right now. Not astronomy. What you said it is. You read it earlier. It's from the beginning to where we are to present. So music therapy is also a part of what we do, as a strategy that we use, because music is healing. When the Wailers started to make music, it was not about making money. It was something to liberate themselves. They bonded together to create music, to free themselves from what they were feeling on the inside and becoming vocal. That is why, as therapists, we engage in talk therapy, because when you release it, you vent. And when you vent, you get some freedom. So that is really what music is about. Music was also used not just as a message to the people, but as a call for change. Back in the days when something was going to happen on the field, you'd hear them singing certain kind of songs. And different songs have different message and meaning. And so back to Ghetto Youth right now, they have a critical role, because we understand that the people need a voice. So I've asked them, I have challenged them to become a voice for our people, and they're working on some music to support Wake Up Jamaica right now, but also not just a voice for them, but a voice to them. And so we will be doing some workshops in the community, because we know, so we have a lot of talent out there, giving people opportunity to contribute to the messaging of Wake Up Jamaica and contribute to the liberation aspect of this movement. So Ghetto Youth Foundation and United main role is to speak to the musicians on our behalf and get them to contribute to be what we call change makers in our society.
Yeah. As an artist, as a writer, a performer, you know, we're there so on Fit FM scene, and you know, Fit FM is a part of this movement. You know, anything to do with Wake Up Jamaica scene. So, you know, and you know, the station manager there so say, him see you when you're a little baby. When you come a half moon, with the mother bring you down there. She remind me. Anyway, but it is just beautiful to know that we still have that beacon of light around us. Maybe it is not as bright as people want to see it to be, but it is there. And once it is there, what we need to do is just to give it more energy, that it can become brighter and brighter. You know what I mean? And this is what we must do. Make the flame bigger. You know what I mean? That it can spread out, that people can see. We don't say there's a lot of pattern who really want to see light still, you know. You don't say pattern frightened for light.
We can't worry about them, you know. We're just aware of them. We know they're there. We know how it goes. We know it goes. But you see, one of my approaches that I engage in as a therapist is to be very solution oriented. And what that means, you know, is we must first identify the problem that we're dealing with for sure. We want to make sure we're fully aware of the source of our problem. But you see, once we've identified it, found the source of the problem, our mindset must be solution oriented. We must reorient our mind. We must reframe the way we think so that we can be driven by the solution and not by the problem.
Yeah. So, you know, people always are engaging in this, you know. So everybody still want you to talk more about Wake Up Jamaica. I don't know about why I say much about it.
So
already,
what it
you know.
is, yeah, people
Um,
try
yeah,
and they
yeah.
can
So
visit our
if
website.
you can,
Go ahead.
ah, yeah, make us slowly make people hear the website. What the website is that we can't even repeat it.
www.wakeupja.com.
Ah, it's simple. www.wakeupja.com. So people, if you want more information about Wake Up Jamaica, just go to the website. But if there's anything where you want to elaborate more about it, Stephanie, you know, as people, you know, sending in messages and asking, say they want with it more. That is how I like them thing, you know. People will joke me on my side and pull me up and say, watch your presenter. Ask these questions because, you know, it's not our program, it's not my program, it's the people's program. So even when you hear them calling, they were sending texts and I tell we say, this is what we want. This is governance, you know, and this is what we want our people to get engaged.
Of course,
This is the
it's
kind of
important
governance.
for us to know what the audience want to hear.
See? So one person asking, you know, for you to just elaborate more about Wake Up Jamaica. I believe you have said enough, but you know, if you have anything else to say, just say it, you know, and yeah.
So I'll just reiterate some things and say some things that I haven't said before. So to be clear, it's a public education and empowerment campaign. The main aim for this movement, for this campaign, is to bring knowledge and awareness to the people, to empower them to be able to help themselves to become liberated from the state of not just mental slavery, but social slavery, right? We have Ghetto Youth United, we have the Advocate Network, Humanity Over Vanity, and Jabem. We were formed out of realizing, as it is, I would like to say, it's a response to the desperate state of our society. It's a response to recognizing that there is an agenda for Jamaica to be done and to become a culture, for dunceness to become a part of our culture.
Yeah.
And I will rebel against that because I know, so we're coming out of historically some powerful, some intelligent, some revolutionary people. We're history makers globally. You understand? We have a music called reggae music that started on our little island and has magnified itself throughout this globe. So what we aim to do as a campaign or as a movement is to get Jamaicans worldwide to realize that they have a role, a responsibility, and they have rights to contribute to their own self-governance, and that we must stop depending and looking for leadership, because the current political system, left or right, they're still, as you said, as we discussed, coming out of the British monarch. They're not really our government. Clearly, they're not looking out for the best interests of us. And so we have to learn to become self-reliant. We have to learn to become self-sufficient, to be able to feed ourselves. So we would be going into schools. We have a school tour. We have parent workshops. We're going to be doing wake-up sessions in community, where the main aim of the wake-up sessions is, again, to engage people in the community, to increase their awareness and to enable them with skills and resources to better help themselves. We're going to also be doing what we call our street art campaign, meaning that we know, so we have to reach out to the senses in many different ways. Some people are visual learners. Some people don't engage unless you're speaking to their other senses and not just audio. So we're going to be doing some street art in collaboration with Kingston Creatives and other artists around the island. Of course, we're going to have our music and art for education and liberation. And we're going to also have a health and wellness program as part of our campaign, so that as people become awake and become more conscious and aware of what they're feeling when they come out of the comatose numbness and start to realize that they're really angry and they're really hurt and they're traumatized, and to deal with the hopelessness in our society, we have to bring health and wellness as part of our campaign. So we will be teaching people the strategies of how to govern themselves emotionally, to become emotionally intelligent, to become aware of who you really are, and to learn to love themselves, to learn that nobody is perfect. As you said earlier, there is no perfection. You have some people out there, them hurting themselves because they're trying to be perfect and trying to be who they are not. We have to learn to accept where we are and be prepared to grow. So the campaign is really about education, empowerment, and liberation. And we're deciding that we're using a lot of diverse and creative strategies to speak to the people, including music, including art, including workshops, and definitely getting into the schools so we can hear what the next generation is thinking and feeling, so we can tap into them from before they become adults. Because there's something significant that happens, shift from adolescent to adulthood. And if we carry our trauma and our baggage into adulthood with us, it's a part of what makes us want to be lacking in our own conscious awareness. So this is the campaign is a holistic development campaign, and we're looking to get some spiritual leaders in there, because we definitely know, say, you know, we are a part of creation, and there is a creator, regardless of what the creator look like or means to you. There is a creator who made the mountains and the oceans, who made and we need to tap into the
of course, you can't hide from that, my sister.
Yeah, we need to tap into it. And I have become who I am because I have learned that there's a power and a source greater than that is me alone and of myself. And when I tap into it, I realize that the access to the power of the Almighty is actually within me and within you. We just have to unlock it.
That is where we're there. That is what we are talking about. That kind of wake up there. That is the kind of wake up. You see, when we talk about 2 days ago, I wonder what you are going to have to say. You see, the 2 hours soon blow off, and you never realize it blow off, you know. See, because I know that there's so much, you know, whenever I ever said there's so much that you have to share, and you have said so much a while ago. And when we carry guests here, you know, it's not about me, the interviewer or the host, you know, but it's for you to really say all that you have to say, you know what I mean, and to point where you really want to see the country, and you know, just look within your own self and see what is it that you are doing, and we see where you know, near that bold step, and continuing to make sure the people realize that there's a greater power inside of them, you know, and we're just happy that you are keeping the spirit and the energy of your mother and your great-great-grandmother alive, and that is very important. That's why we talk about remembering the connection to our great ancestors, and to see their vision and their dream, and don't make sure say it's not dead.
Exactly so. Exactly. We all have a role to play, and even the children in our society have a role to play. And we need to make sure, you know, with all that's going on in the crime in our society, you know, again, them expect the politicians to, or the government and the police to deal with the crime, but it begins at home. We need to look within ourselves. We need to look within our families. We need to look within our community to realize how much we are fostering this crime. And to realize that we have to,
Stephanie,
be the change that we want to see. It begins at home, and it begins with self.
Yeah. We hear the word crime so much, you see. And I believe that the reaction of our youth to a certain situation that cause physical violence, that is crime. But what about the psychological crimes that the people are suffering? You know, as you mentioned earlier, like to deprive us access to public spaces that we can all have vibes. That's a crime.
That is
you
a
know.
crime. Crime against humanity.
you know, and
Major injustice.
yeah, and I we must talk about these things, and we must we hear this term very regular from politicians, where they must call it crime producers. What you call crime producers? If your policies and your systems are the nurturing ground for people to behave a particular way, who are really the producers of crime? If the policies and the system that you implement put the people in a state of mind to be reacting and behaving in a certain way, who are really the crime producers? And you mentioned earlier on, about our colonial infrastructure that are impacting the youth, their mind so much that we behave certain way. And, we can't say it over and over. The new things that we have to do are, you say, not just new, but reignite or reawaken that was within us from ancient time till this time, as you are thinking, and you are a thinker, my great sister. Me know your whole lady about your physical struggle at this point, but we see say you're there, and your sisters and your brothers are here doing what they are doing, and we're glad that there's a family unit, keeping things alive. Plus, you are reaching out to what you call an extended family to create a bigger family, wake up Jamaica, because that is what we're supposed to be doing, to expand our family and make love be the main ingredient in the expansion of our family. We're happy that Jabem, the Get a Youth Foundation, Advocacy Network, Advocates Network, and Humanity Over Vanity are doing this. Donisha Pendergrass.
Pendergrass, yes. That's my sister's daughter, Sharon's daughter.
Sharon's daughter, your niece, you see? So we give thanks to this spirit, these energies, you know what I mean? This vibration. And we're happy that we have that link here. And we want to know, so next time, whenever you ever come into Trelawney or this side, make sure we talk up with Fit FM manager that some live networking or broadcasting can take place, or you come here. So
we're coming to have a live session in the studio. Coming to have a live session.
Man, you're talking. Yeah, man, coming to the studio with the team that can come sit down and talk. About 2 weeks ago, I spoke with Dr. Taylor, and I told him that the next time him there Jamaica or wherever he is, he must come with the people, or some of the people who are a part of the Beach Network and Jabem. Because we must keep that link there, and we not compromise it, my sister. We're certainly not going to compromise it.
Building up the fire, man. Building up the fire. The flames is for goodness, is for light.
Yes. You never give a number, but if you...
I want to say one thing about those who inflicting crime against the people. This landlessness is not a normal situation, and the reason why we're in that state is because there's too much crown land. There's too much land owned by the crown. And when the people lose access to places where they can go for recreation, which helps them to relax and recuperate and regenerate good energy, as you were saying, the healing that we get from the minerals in the ocean. Why do you think so many tourists leave from foreign to come to Jamaica to go into the waters? Because when they come out, they have been re-energized and revitalized. When they lock off the people of the country from access to that, the implications of that is worse than what we're seeing now in the crime, because the mental crime Yeah, that, you understand, as you mentioned, crime against
Yeah.
the injustice to the existence of our well-being is going to have
Mm-hmm.
let's hope it never happens. Let it be forbidden, and let us wake up and come together to be the change that we want to be, because we have to
Yeah.
claim back our rights.
Um,
It's not going to be given to us.
That's it. And this is where we must ignite in the spirit of our people. You know, we must ignite this fire that we must reclaim what is rightfully ours. Michael Pomoja from Canada, I bless you up and say, bless up the sister, you love them, him love the reasoning. See? So there are so many people tuning in, seeing, you know, as me I say, we're global. See? I could see what the sister I said, boy, she loaded when she has sent out information. Exactly, self-reliance, self-sufficiency, educated. You know, what is this word, you know? Kinetic learning.
Kinetic.
Yeah, maybe she wants a kinetic, but yeah, emotional intelligence will reduce the social harm over people are going through the murder, etc. Yes. But the crimes stem from historic domestic abuse of oppressors, all contribute. So how do we combat the system that keep them in that emotional and psychological state?
It begins with self. We have to do them things that in the inner man. It begins with self. It begins with the family. We need to start having these conversations with our brothers and sisters, with our parents, and with our children. We need to start talking about who we are as a people and where we want to be, and then we take it from self to community. But it really begins at home. The healing begins at home. The development, the identity begins at home, and we can't be looking outside of self for solution. We have to look within ourselves for our solutions. We have to be the change and the solution. We have to, because nobody else not going to liberate us. We have to liberate ourselves.
Yeah. You gave out the website. I mean, people will log on to the website, but is there a number, WhatsApp number for the organization? As me say, it's international networking.
Our IG. So we're at Wake Up JA 876. That's Wake Up JA 876 is our Instagram, and we also have on our website, like how you contacted us. We got it. You just post your information, and we start to communicate with you more about what we're doing next, more about the growth and development, and how people can become part of Wake Up Jamaica, because we're forming a family, we're forming a unit, we're forming a movement, and it requires all Jamaicans. That is the requirement of this new.
So it's Wake Up Jamaica. IG Wake Up JA 876. Seeing Stephanie, we give thanks. You see what the time run off. The 2 hours just fly by, you know.
It was a pleasure.
When you're just ready to unleash your spirit and your energy, you know. It is a beautiful vibes having here, my sister, and we're looking forward to have you again and again and again, because you're family right now, and we are a greater family right now. Thank you so much, and you know, just keep the energy going and keep connected and grounding with the ancestors, because you're from great bloodline, and we have to keep that energy and vibration. You are protected by your ancestors. Know that.
As are you, my brother. Give thanks.
Blessings and light. Yes, that many everyone say was. Guys, she is. That is Stephanie Marley, right? You know, and from Wake Up Jamaica, and we give thanks for all the people who tune in. You know what I mean, from all across the world. Mr. Beckford, I know if you're out, you know, I know say you're dead. You know what I mean? Seeing it is so much that we couldn't forget to say some of the things where you are saying. But if we have a little time, we can, you know. Yeah. But people are seeing it on Facebook, and this is how the communication works. Yes, when I say, so we give thanks. It is the community buzz and Fit FM, and this is what we're about. You know, we are being in the change that we want to see. in our home, in our community, and by extension, the wider world. That is what we're about, right? And what? Remember, Jamaica need to wake up, and we are waking up Jamaica. It's what we call conscious awakening. Friday, we had a nice vibes at conscious awakening, you know what I mean? And we you know, little distracted sometimes still, you know, but sometimes, you know, everybody come with their own energy. But you know what? We're about a movement, and we're about liberation. So we give thanks. Julia, enough love. See, people all across the world who tune in. My sister over there in England, Audrey, bless up yourself. Yeah, when you say they tune in and listen on YouTube, and all the other people would listen. Many time boot over there in Florida, and you know, we are bless you up, King, you know, and we are bless up other people across the world. Trelawney, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. Anne's, Love and Light, Fit FM, the community buzz, one love.